This is Concepts Chapter 10, Communicating Digital Content. And these are the objectives to discuss the purpose of the components required for successful communications and identify various sending and receiving devices. Differentiate among LANs, MANs, WANs, and PANs. Differentiate between client-server and peer-to-peer networks, and explain the purpose of software, of communication software, and describe the various network communication standards and protocols, as well as describing various types of communications, lines, and commonly used devices. Discuss different ways to set up and configure a home network. Differentiate among physical transmission media and among wireless transmission media. So what is digital communications anyway? It is the process in which two or more computers or devices transfer information or instructions or data. So you have the sending device. That's the device that initiates the instructions or information. You have the transmission media, or how it travels. And then you have the receiving device, and that's the device that accepts the transmission of the data. So here we have a diagram of various forms of devices that send and receive data, and the transmission media can be wired or wireless. You learned about networks in Chapter 1, which introduced you to a wide range of topics, and so this is really a review that a network is a collection of computers that are connected together, and they use some kind of communication device and transmit media. So the advantages of a network include facilitating communications such as email, messaging, chat, blogs, wikis, voice over IP, and others. Sharing hardware. If you have a network, you can share hardware. An example is a printer. You can share data and information. So you access the information that might be stored on a server or the network. You can share software. You might subscribe and get a number of licenses for a particular software. And you can transfer funds. So this is a way through a network that you can exchange money. So these are the types of networks. Different types of networks. One is LAN, a local area network, and it's limited to a small geographical area, so it could be in a certain building that could have a local area network. Then you have you have wired or wireless LAN, WLAN, or the wireless LAN. It uses no physical wires for its setup, so everything is just wireless transmission. Then you have another type of network is the MAN, or Metropolitan Area Network, and it connects local area networks in a metropolitan area, so it's much bigger. Then you have a larger network called a wide area network, and it covers a much larger geographic area. It could cover many buildings and many homes. Then you have a personal area network. It's called PAN, and that's connects computers and devices in an individual's workspace with wired or wireless technology. So networks, the configuration of computers, devices, and media on a network is sometimes called the network architecture. So this would be a client-server network architecture, and this is a peer-to-peer network architecture. So that's two different examples of the network architecture. So if it was set up as a client-server model, it's one or more computers that act as the server. So we have right here a picture of the server, and then the clients, different devices, are accessing services from a server. In a peer-to-peer network, you have each computer or device acting as its own server or servicing other computers. It's simple and inexpensive, and usually fewer than 10 computers, and they all have equal capability. Communication software consists of programs and apps that help a user establish a connection to another computer, mobile device, or network, manage the transmission of data, instructions, and information. So these two would be part of your operating systems software, and then this last one that provides an interface for users to communicate with one another would be your application software. Network communication standards and protocols. These are the different types of protocols. And the American National Standard Institute, or ANSI, A-N-S-I, ANSI, and IEEE, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics, set the communication standards with guidelines of how computers are to have access to the connection. And hardware and software developers use these standards in the manufacturing process to assure ease of use and communication over a network. The communication standard is called protocol. These are different kinds of network communication standards and protocol: Wi-Fi, LTE, Bluetooth, ultra-wideband, IRDA, and RFID. All of these two using a radio signal. This one using a radio signal, and this one using light waves. So more information on communication standards and how they interact with a network here. And this just shows you the radio frequency that controls toll roads and how your pass can be scanned through your car window using a camera. So this is just another standard and protocol called near-field communications. And that's going to conclude this part. We'll start up with communication lines on the next video for this, for Chapter 10 of Concepts.